Good evening. I'm Eric, and you are with Lifestyles with Eric. We're on our quarantine Wednesday, and we're just seeing what we can come up with come up with this evening, what we can talk about. I've got a couple of things that I want to discuss. Got another person that was killed, unfortunately, Breonna Taylor. She was killed in Louisville. She also was 26 years old and EMT worker. But yeah, she was killed in her apartment on a drug warrant raid um, that kind of went wrong, I guess I'd say. So uh, I guess her and her boyfriend were, in the bed sleep, and they heard a loud commotion, unmarked cars. Nobody announced themselves as police officers or anything like that. And I guess they busted in their place, and her boyfriend, who was licensed to carry a firearm, had I guess start shooting after they busted in and stuff. And I believe he was locked up for or put in jail for attempted murder on a police officer, which I don't get that part because that's a technicality again because they just busted in. Hey, Angela, what's going on? They busted in. I guess they said they knocked and nobody came to the door to open the door, so they kicked the door in, busted in. I don't even think they still announced themselves as police. But again, they were serving a drug warrant. Um, and in the midst of all this shooting and stuff like that, this young lady, Breonna Taylor, 26 years old, EMT worker, was killed in the crossfire in her own apartment, unfortunately. Her mom has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Louisville police department. Hey, Robin, what's going on? But excuse me, but there's a twist to all this. That's the reason why I told you that part first. There's a twist. There's a twist. So, unfortunately, there were some other things going on. So, the person that they were looking for um, did not live at her address, but this gentleman allegedly um, had used her address and was having drugs sent to her apartment, and she did know this. And this, uh, he said that this was his address that he lived at, and he didn't. And I believe that he may have been on probation or something like that. But that's the way they found out. Uh, that's the reason why they bust in her home. But I believe they seized money, drugs, a couple of vehicles, and they had warrants to search those as well. That's the unfortunate thing in all of this. She was a legitimate person. She worked every day, but she had something else going on the side. And I don't know. Well, I'm sure her boyfriend knew about it, but she had somebody else allegedly letting drugs come to her apartment. And then I'm sure she would call him and tell him when the drugs got there and whatever would happen. But unfortunately, she's dead now. And the other part about this story is that the gentleman was already in custody. So they just busted in this apartment and didn't know that the gentleman that they were looking for was already in custody. So that's kind of now that's really stupid on the police department because this young lady possibly would be alive if they would have known that the gentleman they had served a warrant on was still, I mean, was in custody. So that is kind of silly. And I don't know. I hope her mom gets some kind of justice out of that because I'm sure, um, by her getting some money for her daughter's death, she'd rather have her daughter back instead. So I send my condolences out to their family. If their last name is Taylor, I'd send my condolences out to the Taylor family in Louisville, Kentucky. Um, hey, Sherry. But yeah, when I first heard the story, I was like, "Wow, that was unfortunate." But then I read the rest of the story, and I said, "Wow, well, it's like I said." sometimes we can put ourselves in our own predicaments in the things that happen to us. So we have to watch what we do in every step that we take through life, because one wrong move can make everything in your life go haywire. So you really just have to walk your way through life, one step at a time, and just make sure you don't do the wrong thing, because it could just be a catastrophe. And unfortunately, that young lady lost her life. Hey, Unique Thoughts, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you came in. Thanks for uh thanks for stopping into Lifestyles with Eric. We really appreciate you. Absolutely. Hey, Shauna, what's going on? So yeah, this young lady was in Louisville, Kentucky, and if you guys are just coming in, um, she was shot and killed in her own apartment. She was an EMT worker in Louisville. She was 26 years old, and unfortunately, she had some other things going on in her place. She was allegedly letting a gentleman get drugs delivered or shipped to her apartment, and he had put this as his address that he was living in. And as the police were serving a ah, or a narcotics warrant on the apartment, they busted in. Her boyfriend shot. He was arrested for attempted murder on the police, and she was killed in her apartment. That's the unfortunate thing about all of this. She was killed, and the stupid part is that they didn't know that the gentleman that they had served a warrant on was already in custody. So this didn't even have to happen. So that's the stupid part about all of this. Okay, she shouldn't have been letting somebody allegedly ship drugs to her apartment. But if they would have known that he was already in custody, this wouldn't have happened, because they said that they were looking for this gentleman. Hey George, what's going on? Be safe out there on the road, buddy. Thanks for stopping in with Lifestyles, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, it is crazy. I mean, you just gotta watch what you do, watch the things you do, because every little thing you do can change your life. Um, I don't know. It's just other ways to do things, I guess. It's not how you do it, it's what you do, it's how you do it. So just be careful in the things that you do when it comes to things like that. Um, and the other thing I want to talk about is one of my favorite rappers, Little Boosie. Let me tell you about Little Boosie. And I'm not happy with him, and I like to call him nephew or little brother. But I heard some things that he said out of his own mouth on the internet this morning, and I wasn't too happy. So rapper Little Boosie said that he had now, mind you, I was riding with him on the things he said about his opinion on Dwayne Wade and his son. And, I said, well, Little Boosie has 8 kids. Seems like a great father, although he does some things that around his children that I wouldn't do around my kids. Like, you know, around my kids, I wouldn't do that. So, yeah, Boosie badass, you already know, wipe me down. But so Lil Boosie said that I think he's got a 12-year-old son out of the 8 children that he has, and maybe another teenager. So he said that he hired a grown woman to sleep with his little boys and his preteen son and his older son. And I just want to know what everybody thinks about that, because I don't agree with it. I have a 14-year-old son, and my oldest boys are 28 and 26. So they're old enough to do whatever they want to do because they're grown men. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't hire a grown woman to sleep with my 14-year-old son, because that's like child, not like it's child molesting, and you wouldn't want to take your child's innocence because it's the opposite way. I don't agree with that. If that was a girl, you wouldn't introduce a grown man to sleep with your daughter because you want her to sleep with a grown man. I just don't agree with that. So unfortunately, I'm not dry snitching. This has already been said. He said it out his own mouth. but I don't think he understands the repercussions with all of this. Um, you cannot say certain things online and not think you're going to get some kind of repercussion. Um, Absolutely not. I mean, what do you think people are going to say? You have 8 children that I think live with you. You have custody of them, or they're always with you. So hey Angela, I'm waiting on somebody to knock on his door and say you're under arrest for child endangerment and letting a grown adult woman sleep with your little boy. I'm waiting on something like that to happen. And unfortunately, I don't want that to happen to Lil Boosie. I like him as a rapper or whatever, but I don't condone this. I just don't. What was he thinking? I have no idea. What was he thinking? I mean, hey Shirley, he could have kept his mouth shut, zipped it. I mean, I don't condone it, but some things you have to keep off the internet. He's old enough to understand that. So now you can't reverse it. He can't go back and can't take it back. It's already done. And then he smokes weed on TV. So that on the internet. So that's the other thing they're going to get him on. You got to be smarter when you're a millionaire. You sitting on 65 acres, Lil Boosie, with a big mansion, a lot of cars, and you got plenty of money to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Now you're jeopardizing all of that with saying you have adult women sleeping with your little boys. I bet you don't want anybody sleeping with your little girls that's grown. I bet money you don't. So I just wish I could get my fault. You're right. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't have did that. I was playing. I hope he says that because they'll be knocking on that mansion door, I'm sure, tomorrow or sometime this week. And this is the other thing. There's a such thing as the gay mafia. Yep, I said it. In Hollywood, rather, when they run a lot of things in Hollywood, and by him saying um, some of the things that he was saying about Dwayne Wade and not agreeing with him letting his son be transitioned into a young lady, which is not right in my eyes because he's only 12. Now he has to worry about the gay mafia getting in his ass, not the other way, but getting in his ass by giving him a child endangerment case. I mean, it's just some stuff you have to make sense in what you do. You have a lot of money. I think he's at least 40. So you got to think smart. Now you've done something stupid. You've said something stupid. You can't take it back. I'm just wondering what we're gonna hear next. Remember, I said it first. Weed case, child endangerment case. If in Georgia, their laws are harsh on weed, it's not legal there yet. You shouldn't be smoking weed in on camera if it's not legal in your state. I'm being real. You can do what you want to do. You're adult, but he's a star, and it makes a whole lot of other stuff that he can open up a whole lot of other can of worms. So you got to be smart in what you do. Now, if you live in California or Detroit, Michigan, where it's completely legal, you can smoke weed on camera. That's different. But he smokes weed around his kids. Another thing I don't agree with. You just can't do these things and think that nobody's watching, but who? You want everybody watching. That's why you're doing it online. That's why you're having these lives and everybody's on them and we're all looking. And so nobody's snitching, nobody's saying nothing. You're doing it. You're doing it. And I like you as a rapper. I like your music. I love it. I like what you stand for. But now it's a wrap. Like Unique said, it's a wrap. You can't take that back. You cannot take a child's innocence and think that it's okay and funny because it's a boy. It's still innocence. I started sleeping with women at 13 years old, and that was wrong. That was wrong. If I could take it back, I would, because that was a part of my innocence. So now that I'm an adult and I'm more mature, I understand all of these things now. And as a over 40-year-old man, and him being at least 40, I believe, you have to think smarter than that. You can't let money cloud your mind. You got to be smarter than that, Boosie. Seriously. Seriously. So, yeah. And like Robin said, the cops are crazy in Georgia. So again, they'll probably be knocking on his door. Again, you can't take it back. You gotta be smarter than that. You can't say dumb shit. Yep, I said it. Shit. You can't do it. Give me some of that money, and I promise you I won't say anything stupid. If I'm not saying anything stupid now, I'm not gonna say it when I get millions. Period. So that's my opinion on that. Again, I like his music, but I don't agree with that one. My son's 14 and he's got a little girlfriend, and I'll be damned if I go hire grown women to sleep with my 14-year-old son. I'd be a fucking fool. Excuse my French, but I'd be a fool. I'm sorry. I'd be a bad dad. Be a bad daddy. So that would never happen. So it is what it is, folks. That's true. I'm 43 and I'm damn sure not doing what I'm doing when I was 23. Absolutely. I mean, you're just smarter than you're supposed to grow and elevate as you get older. I mean, I got these gray hairs, but that's okay. That's maturity, that's wisdom. It is what it is. And not only the gray hairs, I got wisdom up here. So I've learned some things that I see now that when I was younger, I wouldn't have understood. It wouldn't have been a big deal to me. Now it's more of a big deal to me. So I get it. I get things that my mom used to tell me, Eric, don't do this. Eric, don't do this. You should do this. You should do that. Now I get it. It used to piss me off. I used to hate to hear it, but now I get it. So his maturity level should be there. I don't care if he's from the ghetto, from the hood. I'm from the hood too, but I know how to turn the hood off and I know how to turn professionalism on. I just do. Some of us have that gift, some of us don't. I have some friends that I have to talk for because they don't know how to turn ghetto or hood off. They can't turn it off. It's only one way. And that's okay. They're still my homies. So I speak for them sometimes. But you have to know how to use that in a good manner. You have to know how to turn that stuff off. Be professional. You're on the internet, Booster. You have a big following. Now, this is going to change some things about what you've already done and you said. So we can't take things back once we put them out into the atmosphere. Once we put them out online, we can't take them back. So, I think before I say, and I thought before I said this, I wrote it down on paper and I knew what I was going to say already. So I knew I wasn't going to say anything crazy. I still like, again, Little Boosie's music. So if anybody wants to chastise me for saying he's wrong about what he did, go right ahead. That's your opinion. And I respect it. But I still want you to thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to Lifestyles with Eric. That's what I want you to do. It's okay to have your opinion. This is my opinion. And I appreciate unique thoughts. Definitely. Absolutely. Angela Clark. Absolutely. Robin Dawson. Absolutely. I appreciate everybody coming into my chat right now. I do. It's crazy. Would you say, Sherry? That's so wrong on his behalf. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is. It's wrong. Um, we'll see the outcome to this. And there's gonna be outcome. If he thought that Planet Fitness banned him for saying that little comment about Dwayne Wade and his son, he doesn't know what's going to happen now. Like I said, he should have thought before he said, but we don't all think before we say. Sometimes we just splat it out into the atmosphere, and then it's in particles like the COVID-19, and we can't take it back. So we got to do better. We got to think before we talk. We can't just say stuff. So not only Boosie, but that's all of us. We have to think before we say, because some things we can't either apologize for, or we have to apologize for because we said them and we didn't think about it first, or whatever the case is. But don't get yourself in some trouble because you didn't think before you said something. Seriously. Right. Exactly, George. So what if she had STDs or HIV and she gave it to his little boy? You know how much shit he would be in then? He's already in shit. By saying what he said, he's already in shit. That's the whole thing I'm bringing up. He's already in shit. You can't say I molested somebody and then take it back. You're already in shit. You're already in shit. You stuck your foot in shit and it's not coming off with a scrub brush, Comet, bleach, or anything. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they do him like R. Kelly or try to kind of stick him in that manner. Now we'll see. We'll see. What'd you say, Robin? Like that hat. Oh, thanks, Robin. This is my dog hat. I like dogs. This is like a dog show. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I again, that's my spill on it tonight. I don't know. This is quarantine Wednesday. I'm keeping busy. I'm drinking a little wine. Made some fried chicken. I didn't put it on camera. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put something good on camera. I promise. And my chicken's good, but I want to do something kind of gourmet a little bit. So like I want to do the salmon, asparagus, baked potato. I'm gonna look for some wood planks because I want to put my salmon on some wood planks to give it that smoky wood taste. So I'm gonna look for some of those and maybe get some cooking in this weekend. I know I keep promising, but I'm gonna do it. I really am. I promise. I promise. I promise. But yeah, and I appreciate everybody coming into my life. I do. I really do. Thanks for joining my family. If you like, shared, and subscribed, and if you subscribe to Lifestyles with Eric, share it out to your friends. Share me out to your friends. We're going to be doing and talking about all sorts of things. It's just when I hear news and hip hop news, whatever, I'm going to speak about it. I love it. I'm going to talk about it. You want to show out? Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna keep this going, keep everything moving. Um, you guys come back, enjoy my family again. We'll have more videos for you, more things I'll be talking about. Um, and again, I don't know what's going to happen with Lil Boosie. I like his music still. I'm not going to stop liking his music. I like R. Kelly's music. I'm never going to stop liking his music. I can't help what he's done personally. That's none of my business, but I do like his music still. So that's my opinion on that. And um, I want everybody to stay safe. Don't be paranoid. We're not going to hold on. Let's see. Let's see. We're not going to live in fear. We're not going to live in fear. Okay, we're not going to do it. We're not going to live in fear. We're going to just be cautious, keep our hands clean, not act like everybody's contagious. I mean, just be as cautious as we can be. I don't want to get an outfit to match every or get a mask to match every outfit I wear all summer. I'm not doing this. I'm not. This is not China. This is the Midwest. This is the United States, and I'm not going to be paranoid and prank out like I've been seeing everybody doing. Come on, guys, wake up. It's deeper than what you're seeing. They want us to stay away from each other for another reason, and that's just my opinion. I'm sorry, it just is. So, yeah, now I can breathe. Yeah, and I think they ought to let R. Kelly out, Robin, for the COVID stuff. I mean, they're letting everybody else out. I mean, he wasn't a flight risk. I mean, let him have his day in court, and if he wants to, if he can sit in the house and make music or whatever he does, that's his business. As long as he's sitting in the house and doing what the law is telling him to do. But I think they ought to let him out, and Bill Cosby too. But that's politics, that's other things going on that we don't know about. So there's nothing we can do about that. It is what it is. I still like his music though. I do. So yeah, but if anybody else has an opinion on what I talked about, please shoot it out to me before I log out, because that's my opinion about Lil Boosie. And um, I don't know why he said what he said. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, we'll come back at you maybe tomorrow, Thursday, quarantine Thursday. We'll see what we can come up with. I'm gonna be doing some art here soon too. Don't forget, like I said, to like, share, and subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and chat tonight. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye bye.